Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Little Factory. So this is a game of Little Factory set up as a two-player game. The things that change for 3 or 4 players is the number of these cards that are down at the start of the game, and each extra player gets one of these tiles to begin with. Those tiles are one-off use only. What you're trying to do is purchase cards to then trade them for other cards to then trade them for other things. So what you're looking at is the bottom of each card. So in order to get a sheep, you would need to have a wheat and a wood, or 5 money. Wherever there's this type of symbol, at the back it tells you what color of card is being used to have that symbol. However, if it is a picture of the card, you would get to keep the item. So if you had a sheep, you'd be able to get the wool for, in essence, for free. You just got to show that you have the sheep. Whereas if you don't have a sheep, you'd need to spend this plant to be able to get the wool. What you are trying to do is have the most influence at game's end. So these are influence tokens. There's influence on this top row of buildings. Within the top row of buildings, you'll notice there's a space up the top. That's saying that if you spend the meat card out of your hand, you'll get an extra 2 points. And so that would live in front of you, and every time you have that meat card in your hand, you can spend it, and it goes to a discard pile and get 2 more points in. So that's the aim of the game. The game will finish when someone has a total of 10 influence points, so that's on buildings and with these tiles, or when there are no more of these building tokens available. Once that has happened, everyone counts up their points. Whoever has the most wins. If it finishes with someone having 10 influence points, that person is the winner. So let's get straight into it and have a bit of a play to get a feel for how the game actually goes. So this player is first player. He has 3 money to spend. This is a one-off card, by the way. So he spends 3 money and puts that aside, and he will spend his 3 money to get 2 of these and 1 of these. This player will then spend 4 money to pick up a wood, pick up that, and he'll pick up a stone, and he might as well pick this one up as well. Okay, we go back to first player. You'll be able to action any of these cards that he has, then take the turn, and then action any other card. So if you pick up a card that actually can be actioned, you are able to action it straight away. So right at this point, however, you're going to play these 2 cards. So they just go back here, and he takes that card in, then that gets replaced. What he would like to do is he'll spend that to get that card. What that's now allowed him to do, he's got these 2 which will allow him to pick that up, but he can only do 1 thing per turn, so he's got to wait till his turn comes around again. This player has a sheep which he will spend to turn into meat, and that gets replaced, and that gets replaced. He will spend those 2 cards, so that and that, in order to get this one. That gets replaced. This player is then going to turn this in. So what I've been doing is using the bottom thing to upgrade the cards. That's called the produce action. He's actually going to use the money to do a trade action. So the way trade actions work is he can use this 1 card to get 8 money worth of cards, no matter how many cards he takes, bearing in mind that you have a hand limit of 7. Or he could use more than 1 card to get 1 card. And notice, if you're using many cards, you can only get 1 card from the table. If you use 1 card, you can get as many cards as you like. So he's going to do that. So he's turned in 8 money worth, and he thinks that he'll use 6 of the money to get that card, which goes straight down in front of him. He has 2 money left, so he can pick up some other resources. He'll pick up a wood. So he notices that this can turn into a sheep. He just needs a sheep to be available there. And what he might do is grab another wood for his 6. Then we replace the top card. These ones have nothing to replace them, so that's fine. This player has that piece, so he's going to turn that in for that building, which is now looking for this, and wool, which is in this deck. I showed that to you earlier. Back over to this player, he'll be using the 1 wood to pick up the coal, and that then gets replaced. We've pulled out another brick, so instead of having 2 brick spots, they just sit on top of each other, and we pull out another one. That's another one of those. That's another one of those. So you're pulling cards out until you have 5 separate new cards. This player has a wood and I believe that's cotton. He's going to spend the cotton to get the wool. This player will spend 1 wheat to get the bag. This player will spend his 2 elements to get that because of the fish. This one will spend these 2 to get the bread. This player will show that he has that to pull the fish in. The cow goes on top of the other cow. The plank goes on top of the other plank. The bricks can go there. And he thinks he's going to spend that to pick up that one for 6. So he's got 11 money total. So he can pick up anything that's a 5. And he thinks he'll take a cow as his other one. And we shuffle the discard pile, replace the missing card, and put them down. This player will discard the fish to get that building. Back over to the left player, who's going to discard that card to get that building. A new building comes out. This player only has the fishing rod, which is of 0 help to him at the moment. This building that he's picked up earlier, though, allows him to take a trade action. So he can put that in for 8, which allowed him to pick up this for 5 and that for 3. And then he can take his turn, which will be to turn that one in for that. And then we refill the stuff. This is a very beneficial building for him to have, because it means that any time that he has a hand of cards that he doesn't know what to do with, he can just do the stuff to have the resource rather than having to chase the resource. This guy has the cow, so he's going to just get the bucket of milk, or pail of milk if you wish. This player merely has 2 planks. Now, be extraordinarily careful here. He could spend this to get this card, but then he would have nothing in his hand to trade around, to do anything with. So he should not do that. Be extraordinarily careful not to end up with no cards in your hand. He thinks that a better usage would be use this building for 5 money worth, which he'll grab that for 3, grab that for 4, and that for 5. Back over to this player, who will spend the cow to get that. He can then use that, so use that straight away to get 2 points. And they just come in onto the building. So he currently has 5 points. This player currently has 4 points. And we bring that back out. I think that gives you enough of an idea of the game to be able to play it and push through. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.